Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome again to another podcast episode of Let's Talk. As you know, this is your host, Big Steph. And some people call me Big Daddy Steph, but that is a different story, right? So let's go ahead and get straight into the topic. I like to do my podcast in a way that you will feel entertained, but at the same time, where I will preach some serious talk, right? Something that is going to inspire you to change your future. So today, as a topic, I chose why do people change, right? Why do people change? You always hear often people are saying, oh, he changed, he thinks he's all that, or the usual typical things that people say whenever you either came across a lot of money or whenever you're doing something bad as well. It's not always when you are doing good, right? When you are doing bad, people, it's okay for them to also say that you change for the worse. But today, I'm mostly concerned about changing to better yourself. So why do people change? The number one reason that I would like to talk about is people change, number one, because they have been hurt. Yes, you heard that right. They have been hurt. People that have been hurt, you will see they will change. Why they will change? Like, sometimes you try to get in a relationship with a young lady, or I don't know, with a partner. It can be a man or a woman. And you see that they reserve themselves a little bit. They like to observe you from afar a little bit because they have been hurt and they don't maybe want to go through that pain again. So they protect their heart and they don't want to get hurt. That is pain, right? Pain will force people or will push some people sometime to change. But that same pain also sometimes push people to change in a good way as well, right? Like, for example, as I'm talking as a guy here, so ladies, sorry for this, but let's say a girl broke your heart, or that you try to flirt with a guy and she with a girl and she didn't see you for who you were because she was like, well, you are broke, you have nothing, you cannot offer me anything, and therefore I cannot be with you. She's looking for a man that is financially stable. That is because you are broke, you are young, you're broke, you have nothing. So a lot of us guys, what for most people that really want to be successful, people will use it as a fire, at this hurt inside of their heart, like, oh, you saying that I'm broke right now? Wait and see. I'm going to be successful. And they go ahead, they work extremely hard, not because they really want to work hard, but because they want to get a payback. They want to go back to that girl years later and say, see, I told you I was going to be successful. And one thing that these people are ignoring or they're forgetting is the fact that that same pain is the reason why they become successful. So behind every successful person, there's pain. There's something that pushed them to become successful. That pain can be, we were hungry, right? That is another pain. We were hungry. Or I got tired of seeing my kids sleeping on the floor. Or I got tired of the project. I got tired of, I don't know, life being broke and not having to do the things I really want to do because I don't have the money. So pain will cause people to change, right? And also sometime you will see uh, pain is going to be the main reason why you will become successful. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm only talking about positive change here because pain also can turn people from for the bitter. People can also become bitter. Why? Because that pain hurt them so much and they are trying to make someone else pay as well, just or go through the same pain they went through. You ever been to somebody in a relationship with somebody else that was painful, that suffer from their previous relationship, and now you are out here paying for something you didn't even do, right? But because the ex-boyfriend or the ex-girlfriend broke their heart and they are out here trying to break yours, right? Without knowing that they are just perpetrating the same thing that happened to them. So pain will make you change. That is the first thing, right? Pain is the first reason why people change. Also, people also change because they have seen enough. As life is mysterious, right? We can change sometime because we have seen enough. How come? Well, Through experience, you have seen a lot. We always have you ever sat back, with your friend and seeing your friend becoming successful, and at some point you too, you are like, man, enough is enough. I've seen enough. I just have to act now, right? Because you've seen it all. This especially talk to those people that have gone through a book reading session, right? When you are going through that stage where you feel like, oh, all successful people read books. I would like to read books as well. You read, you read, you read, you read, and you keep reading, 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 reading. Guess what? All you have right now is theory, but you haven't done practice yet, right? The only way for you to change is to take action. You have to take action because at some point you just got to be tired of reading, man. Reading is not enough. A plan, a goal is just a goal, but a goal without action is still remaining a goal, and all obviously will ultimately feel disappointment on your side. So at some point you just gotta put your leg down, man, put your sleeve in and just say, oh, well, you remember that sentence. Well, I just got to go ahead and take action right now. That is the main reason. So if you've seen a lot enough, you've seen a lot happening, at some point you have to do something about it. You have to act, right? You just have to act. And in order for you to act is you have to take action. Reading is good. Reading is actually fundamental. Reading is fundamental, but at some point, enough with the reading, enough with attending seminar. I'm not saying that you shouldn't attend seminar anymore, but enough with that. You have to take action. And action is ultimately what is going to push you, at least if you are trying to be successful, action is what is going to push you towards success, right? And trust me, guys, change is, for the most part, if you change in a good way, change is a good thing. And change can be mental or physical. A lot of people, when they think change, they say change, they always see change in, like, I guess, maybe the physical way, like you need to change your environment. And I remember in one of my podcast episodes where I talk about this son that is growing a snake in a small cage, and the snake at some point stopped growing, and the mother tells him like, hey, don't you see that in order for your snake to get bigger, you need to change the environment. You need to provide a bigger cage that the snake can grow so he can grow. So that goes the same for human, right? At some point in life, you have to change the environment as well. If you have bad friends that are always saying no, 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 they are not trying to better themselves. Like if you all grew up in a ghetto, of course, at some point everybody is going to say you change. Why? Because you level up. You're trying to change your life for the better. And they will say that, oh, since you made it now, you don't recognize the hood. No, it's not about recognizing the hood. You work hard so you can get out of the hood, so you can experience life in a separate way or in a different way, so you can experience wealth. You can experience traveling, not traveling like taking an Uber or going from state to state, but traveling abroad. You know what I mean? Like going to, I don't know, Africa. Going to uh, I don't know, China, Japan, Tokyo. There's a bunch of places, island, Caribbean and things like that. There's a lot of places out there that are just waiting for you to come and discover them. I myself personally, I like old things like the pyramid, the Mayan temple and things like that. So those are the things that I am into. But for you, if you want to travel and achieve your goal, you must change, man. Change is not always a bad thing. It's a really, so for the most part, change is a good thing, especially if you are trying to change your life for the better, right? And that is on the physical aspect. And sometimes the physical aspect require you to move away from where you live and maybe change the state. I remember before I got to Texas, I was living in Colorado. At some point, I just decided, hey, obviously there's a bunch of things with God vision for me that goes into that. But at some point, you just got to pack your stuff and leave, man. And which is what I did. And I don't regret it today at all. So, and I'm thankful that I did, right? Sometimes you just need a change of environment to pursue what you really are after. Now, the second aspect of change. The second aspect of change is the mental change. Remember, I said at some point you just get tired of reading book, right? Well, I say this. The first thing to change mentally is to read. Reading is fundamental. You have to read a lot of books, man, and books in a subject that you would like to do, and also in a subject that are no interest to you. But that, like for example, I read book of on meditation. I'm really interested about real estate and business and how to be successful. But I read book on meditation as well. Why? Because I wanted train myself on how to have that peace of mind. You see what I'm saying? So I think that if you're also trying to be successful, you must go through the path. You have to read a series of books, and by reading, not number one, you will improve your vocabulary, right? That is one thing that you will improve. Trust me, from somebody that French is his main language, like me. Yes, we do. We say I went to school here, but from time to time, you still have those mixed words in French that come through your head, right? That is what happened to me from time to time. But even like that, I started reading and doing things, and it changed. And I could see when I'm talking to people that they were like, "Oh wow, your English got better." Yeah, compared to when I first moved here in the States. So yeah, you need to read a lot, and you need to attend seminar. That is also part of changing yourself on the mental aspect. You need to attend seminar, right? Attend seminar and learn from other people's experience. And you might have an invisible mentor. Like me, I have invisible mentor. Some people that are even dead, but that they left not enough material that I can use today to better myself. I'm thinking as far as Jim Rohn is, for example. I like everything that Jim Rohn talks about, and I use it to improve myself. I also attend seminar from time to time, but I mostly focus on reading. And if you need help with books, I can maybe recommend a book each time I'm doing a podcast here. And if you want to, the first book that I will recommend right now is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I really like that book because it teaches you how to win friends, like the title says, and also how to influence people, how you can make people do what you want without you having to really tell them what you want. You see what I'm saying? Just by listening. The secret is by listening. You should listen more than you talk. Things like that. Even I'm still trying to better myself there, by the way. But yeah, those are the things that you need to do to improve your life. And if you really want to get rich, the number one thing that you should do is getting a skill. Though this is all these that I'm talking about, guys, are contributing to change as to why people change. You change because you want to better your life. Some people change for the worse, but you want to change because you want to better your life. And for that, you need to acquire a skill. A skill is something that is going to live with you forever. That even if you leave that job that you are doing because you have acquired enough skill, you go out there, you start your own business, and your business fails, you can always rely back on your skill. Why? Because you learn it, you work hard on it, and you have mastered it. So for you to change your life, you must acquire a skill. A skill is what is going to get you paid an income. Now, if you want to level up, we can talk about it in a separate podcast. If you want to level up, you need to get to a point where you are not, the skill is good, yes. Uh, the income is good, yes, but you want to be wealthy. You want to build wealth, not an income. An income is something that can be snapped away from you by your employer. But when you have wealthy, because you have built yourself a business, something that you own, nobody can take it away, right? And obviously, I have a new podcast episode. Don't forget to check that episode out. It's coming out soon. It's called The Power of System, right? I'm not going to get into it because I have different topic there, but don't forget to check my next podcast episode, which is The Power of System. Guys, if you like my podcast, you like what I have to say, you like, I guess, this one-on-one conversation, even though I don't see you, I know I'm speaking to you. I know that somebody out there needs to hear this message, right? You need to change your life today. Change for the better, of course, not for the worst, but for the better. If you like this podcast, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe and like, share, comment. And guys, if you have story, you want to be part of the podcast, you have a product that you want to sell out there or get out there, please contact me and we can see how I can even help you market your product here for free. You know what I mean? I'm not I like money, but I'm not thirsty about money. Sometimes you just provide service for free, like that. That is just the way I live my life. So if you have something you would like for me to include here in the podcast, obviously it has to go with my belief system. Then I will go ahead and market it out here for free. Thank you for listening to the podcast, guys. God bless. Peace.